Morning. We're back. It's been 2 days since we've been here, right?
Yep, 2 days of rain.
We're gonna try to come up with maybe a little something to do over top of this ridge here so that we can get up in there and work. All right, here we go. Well, we're getting that ridge taken out. Take a look here. You can see, here's what we've done already. And then the ridge down at this other end here was a different size. Ken had went, because there's dimensional lumber here instead of logs. Somebody had replaced these years ago. So Ken had put a beam underneath them because they came together at the top. What we did, so we could get in there and get the proper size beam in there, is we have cut them completely out. What we did was made a little triangle structure here, so it's transferring the load on the rafters down to this collar tie, so it's holding them up. And when we cut them off, they don't even move, so it's doing its thing. Now we're going to get the ridge up in there, and double ridge like we have here, like you can see here. And then we'll be ready to start tying the new rafters in. Alright, we're setting that up. One half of that ridge in there right now. Ken cut the notch on the end, so when it stuck through the roof, it would be the right shape on the outside. He's put up a temporary board there to hold it. Had a little load on it there, so we had to jack it up a little bit. Put a jack underneath it, a couple boards. Lifted it up flush. Check some measurements. Ken set up his laser transit there so we could measure, make sure it was level. Then we set the second half up there. Did the same notch on the end. Good morning, Saturday morning. I'm not even sure what day it is on the job anymore. Totally forgot by now. But we got some material and it's raining, of course. But we're gonna get her done. Keep us out of trouble for a few minutes. That what I was bringing out of the truck there. We tore apart some of the stuff that we had in the other side there, that one bench there, we tore that apart. We're putting up the rest of the collar ties. And what we still had to do, since it was raining out, what we still had to do was to square up that cupola on the roof. So you can see I got a ratchet strap there on the right hand side along that one ridge. And then we also put a ratchet strap in the opposite corner on the other side so that we could twist it a little bit. And we put a couple spacer boards in there off the ridge, centered it up on the ridge, and squared it up and leveled it up and made sure it was all good to go. Seems like we've worked on that quite a bit, but I believe it's all set now. I know it is. And it's mounted to the roof. We ran the plywood underneath it. So we were able to do that now. We were kind of holding off for a rainy day. Ken did a bunch of bracing up inside there. Made sure it was tied in well. Well, it's Sunday morning. Day, I'm not sure what, of the garage build that we're working on. But I woke up to a beautiful day here. Look at this. Beautiful blue sky. Well, let's hope it stays with us. We plan on tearing off the whole last section of the roof so we can get it back up and on there. Just takes so long doing it little pieces at a time, so I think we're gonna go for it today and tear it off. So we are on our way to the job site. It's Sunday. I don't even know how many days we've been working on it anymore. I think I mentioned
15 to 16 right.
Okay. I just started labeling my videos by the date now because I don't know how many days we worked on it.
Very organized.
I mentioned earlier that I think we're going to go for it and we're going to tear the rest of that roof off. Is that correct, Ken?
Well, seeing we've got the sun out for the first time in about 4 days, like usual. It's 3 on, 1 off of rain. Yeah, and might as well. Hey, Columbus took a chance.
Yeah, Ken just stopped and bought tarps at Home Depot. Yes. He's actually on the tarp mailing list now. It's like when you get your dog food in the mail. Right. We just send us tarps now.
I just ordered a snow gift this week, so I'm hoping that, as usual, that it shouldn't snow or rain.
Sweet, let's do this.
Let's do it.
We're working on that ridge again. You can see the tarps are coming off. Got some blue sky here, some clouds. Ken's tearing the tarp off the outside. I'm on the inside. That's the old tarps that you see hanging down there. What we did was we basically built a little tent over top of the ridge so we could work in there when it rained, because it's just been one of those kind of years. So Ken's tearing that off, and I'm starting to cut the boards. There's still some shake shingles on this part of the roof, so we're cutting in between the roofing boards because we want to save the boards for later use inside the building. They want to keep as much original wood as they can. So we're cutting in between the boards there and trying to take out the boards in one piece if possible. Sometimes there was big knots and stuff where you couldn't save them, and this is this side of the roof gets a lot of sun, so the boards were pretty dry, but they're definitely savable. A lot of them are. So Ken's cutting that last couple rows there that I couldn't reach easily with the Sawzall. He's cutting with a circular saw along the bottom there. And I've got these cut, and I'm tearing them out now. You can see there, I think he cut one there with a circular saw down through there. And I'm popping the boards out. It's working pretty good. And he's stacking them there on the roof, and what we ended up doing was just tarping over them so they wouldn't get wet. I mean, a little bit's going to run down the roof, but for the most part we kept them up off the roof and kept them dry. We were up against the gun here. We had a lot to do, and the weather. We had 2 days and we had to make the most of it, so we went pretty hard for a couple days here. He's pulling that bottom board off there now, that last of this side, and I tried to pull all the nails out of the rafters because they're going to reuse those too for inside trim pieces and stuff. Actually, Ken started trimming off where the old beam is and the new plate that we put in. He started trimming it off. It looks nice. That's what he's going to use those for. So they got the same patina as the inside of the garage because they've been there so long. And there, I'm pulling the nails off and stuff because looks like it's going to rain, even though it wasn't supposed to. But we're getting the tarp ready. We left the rafters, the old rafters, up there so we'd have something to support the tarp with. And that's what we're doing. We're getting it ready to go. Tacked it up on that ridge, underneath that, on the ridge underneath that tent we put up there. We left that up. And we got her in there. And it did rain a little bit, not too bad. But we wanted to be ready just in case, so. And you can see that tent there over top of over the ridge area there where we're working. Worked out pretty well, actually. And then we got the second side, we got the tarp ready before we started tearing anything off, just to make sure, just in case. And you can see here, we ended up needing it. You can see the clouds are starting to roll in a little bit, starting to darken up. And I handed Ken the tarp the wrong way, so it was it was facing the wrong way, but it worked out. You can hear the thunder in the distance here. How's your lightning rod? Oh yeah, it's on. Yeah, so this is kind of cool. Yeah, many deer? No, not a deer to be seen. We didn't waste any time. We got right to work, tearing the tarps off, and we had to get all the old rafters out of there and start putting up the new ones. So we tore the rest of that roof off that we couldn't do the night before because it was raining. Got that out of there. Got the rafters out of there, both sides. They came down pretty fast. You can see there's our tent hanging over the top of that temporary ridge pole we put up there over top of it. Well, she's open now, so start cutting rafters. Oh, first we had to level the plate up. You can see here what we had. We ended up ripping strips off of 2x6 or something. It was about 1.5 to nothing down through there, so we just ripped some strips, 2 strips, put them together, and nailed through that into the existing plate to level everything up. It tapered right to nothing there again at the end. It kind of had a hump in the middle. It kind of curled like this and went back down on each end. Or actually was still up on the far end that we're working on now. So I was just getting cutting some rafters there. Ken and I are setting them. We took some measurements down through there. It was pretty consistent. Again, it was probably within no more than 1/2 inch variation down through there. So Ken did a good job straightening the walls up. So everything went in pretty well for being as an old of a building as it is. So what we did was, I think we set every other one because we wanted to have structure up there again in case we needed to tarp it. So we set every other one at first, keep the ridge straight, have some structure up there to put tarps on if we had to. It went pretty well. Took a few more measurements, cut a few more rafters, and then we were able to tie into that end wall, well, which you'll see a little bit later. Now we're filling the rest of this in. Hey Ken! Hey Ken! Would you like to explain what this giant pile of 2x2s is over here?
Well, being the brain surgeon that I am, I went to the lumberyard this morning. I did 2x16s, and I got 22 2x10x16s. And it'd take about 2 or 3 hours to take them back and redo it. So I said, let's rip.
Yep.
We did it though.
Been ripping.
Yeah, we did. Cool. We got her done. Morning. Here we are. Got another sunny day. That's 2 in a row. Very rare up here. So we are. Today's goal is to get. We have last sunny day. And it's going to rain again tomorrow.
Let's walk out there, okay?
Yep. So we're going to basically got about 5 more rafters to put in. Like to get the plywood on and weatherproof today. Seeing rain is coming and I'm leaving for a little vacation in 2 days. So see what happens.
Some measurements here. If I remember correctly, every one of those was all the same length, so which is good. Should be. So I cut them all there and they're all standing up. So that went in pretty good. You can see the beautiful blue sky in the background there. It was nice. It was a nice day. Cool enough to work without sweating, but it was just a beautiful sunny day. Now we're putting the last couple in there. We tied into that end wall. We ended up running a 2x6 against the wall. There was a step there where the studs were on that wall, so we wanted to fill that out, so we had a nailer. So we put a 2x6 on the wall, on the studs, or on the, yeah, above the studs, and then we put a 2x8 against the studs, so there was a nailer on the inside for the finished ceiling and some extra strength there. And then I believe Ken went through, we're finishing that up now on this side. That worked out well. Ken's got his nailer up there. He went back through and nailed all the rafters to the ridge beam. And yeah, that's what he's doing now. He's nailing everything off, checking everything, making sure everything's pretty level. straight, rafter to rafter. And then as soon as he's done with that, we get right on to plywood. And there you can see the finished roof from over top. Oh, Ken had to trim off, yeah, where the difference in the rake from one roof to the other was just a little different because of our shimming on the plate. So he trimmed those off. Now we're bringing plywood up onto the roof. That was fun, of course. So we're in time lapse here, so it looks like we're running around pretty fast, and it's actually, to be honest with you, that's what it felt like. We were running around like that. We did this side of the roof in just about an hour. So I mean, they weren't fully screwed down. They were only tacked in the corners and stuff, but it went pretty quick. It's nice having the other roof there to work off from instead of being on scaffolding. So we ended up bringing the plywood up and over the roof for the other side too, and it went pretty well. The plywood was running good and square, so we didn't have really any issues with that. Nailers, everything worked out well on the rafters and stuff. Ken is tacking some stuff down. Now we're setting that plywood up there for the other side, and then I think Ken had to buy 5 more sheets. They're in the back of his truck. So there, we're setting the plywood on this side of the roof now. And again, it went pretty smooth. Everything was pretty well set. Staggering our sheets, of course, half sheets. I think Ken bought 5 sheets there. Yeah, we're taking some of it in now and carrying it up. And we hand it up through the roof, I believe. Tacking some stuff in. Put a board there to hold the plywood so it didn't get away from us. Yeah, I'm handing sheets up through the roof to Ken. I'm cutting some, I think I go in now and I cut the strips for this side of the roof, I believe. Ken's cutting the rafter tails off there right now. Getting that out of the way before we put the plywood down. And I think he might be doing some nailing too. I'm not sure. We were busy. Yeah, looks like he might have his gun there. And there it is from the top. That was at the end of the day. There was luckily no rain in the forecast at all, so gambled a little bit and left it open. Good morning.
Morning.
We think it's day 18.
18, they kind of run together after a while.
Yeah.
And we're really our final day here. I'm leaving for Florida tomorrow, which would be Thursday, and so we're just trying to get it weatherproof, and that's our goal, and we have a half a day to do it before the rain moves in. So
here's what we got. We got just have the little bit overhangs on the end here to do, and a couple of pieces of plywood across the front here, which I'm going to do now. And Ken's going to start putting the weather watch on the roof, get her weatherproof, so we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yay.
In case you can't tell, we're getting a little tired, but we're still rolling. I cleaned up. We hadn't cleaned up much. We've been going long days. So I cleaned up the outside. Ken was doing the weather watch on the back side of the roof. And then I had just those couple 2.5 pieces there of little strips in the front to finish up with the plywood. So I did that, and Ken was doing the weather watch on the back side of the roof. I think I already said that. I finished up the front. Time for him to come over there. Wasn't done too long, and he came over in the front. And the rest of the day was pretty much for me was cleaning. I picked everything up off the ground, ran a magnet around, picked up the screws and nails and stuff that had fallen on the ground, which was quite a few. You know, stuff is always falling out of your apron. You're always dropping them. So there's Ken. He's putting up the weather watch on the front side now. You can see the clouds in the background there. It's still partly cloudy there, but it's filling in. The forecast didn't look good. It looked like we were going to get rain, and it was slowly moving in, getting darker and darker. But we kept going. There's a couple of breaks in the clouds. Ken was using every last bit of that weather watch too. At the end there, I went and I had to pick through some scraps and stuff so we could finish around the cupola and stuff there, where there needed a little flashing there just to make it a little more weatherproof while he's gone. So I went through and like the angles cut off from the valleys and stuff. I found some of them and brought them up to him on the back side of the roof, and he finished the ridge. He needed a little bit to cap it, and a little bit around the cupola. I folded up the tarps and stuff that we had laying around, and Ken took down the ladder, and we wrapped it up there. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. And I believe I'm coming back down to help finish the roof. We'll probably be putting the shingles on, finishing the soffit, the fascia, and all that. So I'll see you soon. Bye.